Now we're getting into chapter 17, which is kind of really wrapping the year up because now we're getting into medieval Europe history, and that's going to kind of be where we're going to be the rest of the year. We're going to describe military and governmental events that shaped Europe in the early Middle Ages, 600 1000 AD, and get into a little bit about Europe. Europe is a small continent but very diverse. We call Europe a continent that's actually a part of Eurasia. Europe and Asia are Eurasia is a large landmass, includes both Europe and Asia. And so you see here, this is Europe, this is Asia, and so we have, it's kind of a huge continent that is made up of a couple. Topography is the shape and elevation of land in a region. Y'all should remember this from geography last year, what topography is, but if you don't, there's a reminder. Europe has many different physical features. Mountain ranges cover much of southern Europe. And you see, this is a topographic map. It shows you elevation. And so you see that the white is the highest elevation. And then, the orange and red makes up a little bit higher. Green is like sea level. But you look at a lot of Italy, a lot of Greece has mountains. The Iberian Peninsula does. The southern part of Europe does. North of the Alps, the land is much flatter than in southern Europe. The northern European plain is the location of most of Europe's major rivers. It's also home to hills, valleys, peninsulas, and coastlines. Like the landforms, the climate and vegetation also change based on what part of Europe you're in. It's a large area of land. It's kind of like the United States. Some places cactus grow or cacti grow. Some places you can grow soybeans. Some places you can't grow nothing. It's very large landmass, so it varies. Europe is largely warm and sunny, but also parts of northwest Europe is cooler and wetter, and freezing weather is more common in Scandinavia. Few plants can grow in the cold regions in Europe. As in other parts of the world, geography helped to shape the history in Europe. We talked about that all the way back in the first chapter of history, is how geography shapes history. In southern Europe, most people lived in river valleys where the land was flat enough for them to farm. Because southern Europe had many peninsulas, the people don't live far from the sea. And so because of that, they're going to do a lot of fishing. They're going to do a lot of trade with people over large areas of land because they live close to the sea. So here is a map of a lot of the areas of Europe. You see Spain, France, Italy, Poland, Germany, Czech Republic, Austria, Slovakia, so on and so forth. Most people in northern Europe live far from the sea. They use rivers for trade and protection, which is why Paris was made on the river, or made on the water. Farming was very common in northern Europe as well. It's flatter land, more rivers, less mountains, things like that. I'm not going to start naming off all these different countries that's showing here, but you can kind of get an idea. And that brings us to the end of section 1.